UPI has completed 10 years today and has shown amazing growth. In FY26 alone, UPI recorded nearly 219 billion transactions. And this is a massive 12,000 times increase from just around 17 million transactions in FY17. That's when UPI first came into the picture. The total value of transactions in FY26 reached almost 285 lakh crore rupees, and this marks over 4,000 times growth compared to nearly 6,950 crore in FY17. In fact, March 2026 alone saw a record 22.64 billion transactions. That's over 22 billion transactions in March alone. UPI, therefore, has become the backbone of India's digital payments. It is helping small merchants go digital, reducing cash use and promoting financial inclusion across the nation. On this very impressive milestone, we have Sharat Chandra, founder of EmpowerEdge Ventures, to discuss the future of UPI in India. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us your time. With UPI now handling nearly 285 lakh crore in value annually, how has this transformed the unit economics for fintech startups, especially in payments, lending, and quick commerce, according to you?
Thanks, Malika, for having me. I think this has been a phenomenal journey or phenomenal decade for UPI and digital payments, and we have seen a flurry of startups and the ones who are on the path to profitability. And take example of PhonePe, right? PhonePe will be the first, I would say, a complete ecosystem player which will take the India growth story forward. Now, the next growth of UPI payments will likely be powered by the growth of UPI in other geographies. So there are close to 8 to 10 countries where UPI is going global. And the credit line on UPI, this is where I think the inclusion piece comes very, very handy, where now you have digital payments. How can you underwrite or give a next set of loans to people who don't have credit yet? Let's say new to credit customers. So I think new business models and new fintechs will also come who can tap onto this credit line of UPI. As of now, we have small finance banks who are enabling the credit line on UPI, but it will be interesting to see if NBFCs can also be allowed to facilitate and allow credit line on UPI. It depends upon RBI, how the RBI takes it forward. And given the Utkarsh or the medium strategy document which RBI released yesterday, RBI itself is very keen on taking UPI global, right? And how you can have even multilateral arrangements of payments where even CBDC can be used, right? So I can say maybe more use cases and more business models will come in days to come.
Chandra, I'm going to explore UPI's globalization part as well. But just before that, I'd like to get your view and sense on how do you read the relevance of cash now, since we're entering a world where everything is going digital, including payments. I mean, 285 lakh crore annually in value is not a number that one can ignore. And it's grown multifold, right? So what do you think about the prospect of cash becoming irrelevant in the future?
I'll be saying it will be too premature to write off cash. Cash will still be part of the entire monetary system. It will coexist with other forms of payment. But this is where I would say new forms of money, for example, CBDC, where the offline payments enabled by CBDC, where you have the cash-like features of digital money. I think that will gradually take over once we have more use cases or more adoption with respect to programmable use cases. Let's say now you can give direct benefit transfer to people or the necessary people in terms of CBDC. So offline capability of CBDC, I think that will pick up in the days and months to come. And that might give some, I would say, some competition to cash, but cash is not going anywhere anytime soon.
Like arguing that newspapers are not going anywhere anytime soon, even though we're so hooked to our phones, right? So of course, and one cannot imagine money without holding cash in their hands. I'm just talking about the irrelevance of it, because personally as well, I've seen many people who now do not prefer to keep cash because they don't need it anymore. And it's as simple as that. Do you see any risks of over-reliance on this single rail, and I'm referring to UPI, or will it continue to be the foundation for the next decade of Indian fintech?
I'll say this is where I think a fine balancing has to happen, where we also need to have a fallback mechanism because we have seen UPI failures, transaction failures, right? And the government itself has a goal of 1 billion transactions a day. If we were to reach that landmark or milestone, we should have complementary systems which can allow us the transition, right? And a complete reliance on digital payment ecosystem in areas where, let's say, there's erratic internet connectivity, this may or may not be the right answer all the time. So we need to maybe create more alternative mechanisms. Maybe offline CBDC can be one, and more use cases where something like a smart card which can hold your form of money, a prepaid voucher, right? I think use cases or new innovative models can also come into play over there. But Reliance completing on digital payments will not be, I would say, a wise idea because we have seen transaction failures going or happening quite a lot. A lot will also depend upon how the existing systems are also made more robust. Because now, if you look at some of the recent proposals by RBI, right, where the idea is to propose lagged credits, right, especially for transactions more than 10,000. This is where I think the idea is not only to curb fraud, but also to make sure that can there be another form of, let's say, a transfer of value which can exist and which can help.